welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke if you're new here. I'm 28, I have pfeiffer syndrome, and I've just been loving sharing my life as a married gal with dogs. Honestly, just living her life with pfeiffer syndrome and other things. And I wanted to bring my husband along this video. This is Joe. And I wanted us to kind of just share our how we met story. I love watching how other people met. I think it's so fun to just see the evolution of a relationship. And also, if I had a video to watch at 16, 18, 20, even someone who is just about to get married, if I had a video to go and watch to see someone who has a facial difference just thriving and living life, I think I would have loved to have consumed that content. I would have loved to just have been able to watch someone actually get married and live life while having a facial difference. That's what I'm doing, documenting my life. And so I wanted to share how my husband and I met. Oh, you're so cute. And we have a little bit of a visitor as well.
This is Winston. He's probably going to be along for the ride. Though he might find his head out of frame because he feels like he's going to lay down in half a second.
Yeah, he'll be asleep in any moment. If my teeth look purple or my tongue, it's because I have been drinking wine. It's a Saturday night. We're home. It's cozy. It's rainy and
it is dreary out there.
Very dreary.
It's not dreary in here.
Honestly, the perfect time to film our video. I will just give a huge disclaimer. We did meet on Tinder. I feel like that is the big thing about how we met is it was on Tinder. It was a dating app. I think it's funny that it was on Tinder. Tinder is the hookup app. Like, come on. Of all the apps out there, I think Tinder is the hookup app.
That's fair.
So it's just funny to have that app be the one that I met my soulmate life partner on. But that is the general statement of how we met, but we're gonna dive a little bit deeper.
I'm not a dum-dum.
You're not a dum-dum. I'm not at all.
Good night.
Good night.
I
feel like I need to get Winston in here just a little bit more. Oh my goodness. We do have another dog. He is just very cozy in his dog bed right now, and Winston's a Velcro baby, and he wants to be the center of attention always, so.
It's not even like center of attention. He just wants to be where whatever is happening.
He wants to be where the people are.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you're fixing the sink. He wants to be just laying with you in the floor like, what are we doing? You are getting in the attic. He wants to be at your feet at the face of the ladder, at the foot of the ladder. Hey, what are we doing? That's you. That's you, bud.
It so is. He's looking at you so admirably.
Hi, Papa.
It was December 17th, 2017. I remember specifically I was at a birthday dinner for my stepmom because December 17th is my stepmom's birthday. And I was at a sushi restaurant. I was on Tinder when I should have been involved in a family moment. But to be fair, I think she had combined her birthday or something. There was a lot of people there. And so I just felt more comfortable being on my phone. You know what? I was on my phone during a family gathering, and that just is what it is.
And here we are, married with a whole life.
That's why I justify it, but in hindsight, I shouldn't have been on my phone at this time. I should have been fully enveloped in the family moment.
If you had a time machine and you went back and told Christy, like, hey, she's on her phone because she's talking to her soulmate, do you think that she would stop you?
No.
Okay, then.
I remember specifically it was before the food came out. I checked Tinder and I had a match and it was you, and you had also messaged me. I don't remember what your first message was. It hey? Was it hey girl? Was it? I don't know what it was, but he had messaged me.
Knowing me, it was probably hello there because am dork.
I think it was hello there.
Am dork.
I think you did message me hello there.
Doesn't shock me.
And obviously I responded. And the butt of the joke is I don't remember looking through his photos at all. I don't remember any of his Tinder photos, but we just struck up a conversation, and the reception in this Japanese restaurant was horrible. It was so bad. Tinder was not loading, and this guy was not asking for my phone number. So I'm like,
hang on a second. What a double standard. Because you ask too early, you get shot down. You ask too late, you get shit on. So where's the golden little Goldilocks
I don't
zone?
know. All I know is the service where I was horrible, and Tinder was no longer working for me, but I did want to keep up the conversation. Oh, he's getting sleepy. So what did I even say? I was like, are you gonna ask me for your number?
Something like that, yeah. Are you gonna ask me for my number? I think it was something to that effect.
Like, are you gonna find a cool way to ask me for my number? Something of that effect. And then what did you say? Like, I lost my number. Can I borrow yours?
I'll promise to give it back when I find mine.
It was stupid.
What do you fucking say to that? Because of course you're playing a silly little game of like, what's your pickup game like? Like it's like shit. So here you go. And listen, here we are, married.
No, yeah.
With a whole ass life.
No, yeah.
So
he ended up getting my number that night, and we texted for a while. We had set a date for, what was it, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
We set a date for a Thursday. And on a Tuesday, your girl made a mistake. Well, let me back up a little bit there. Your girl did something that she doesn't recommend other people to do, is I gave him the place of where I worked. I told him exactly where I worked. I was like, hey, I'm working tonight. I might not be able to text you that much, yada, yada, yada. And it was mid-December during Christmas time in retail. I think you had messaged me like, are you going on break anytime soon? And I never saw that, but the next thing I know, I'm at work 6 hours into my shift, and I get a call on my radio, my work radio, and it's like, Brooke, what location of the store are you in? And I'm like, oh, I'm in the men's department. And I thought my coworker was gonna come and find me since she asked where my location was. So I was hiding, gonna try to scare her, but she never came. So then I start walking, because I'm actually now gonna go on break. I start walking towards the break room, and then out pops this guy, which you're lucky I even recognized you, considering how I didn't even really look at your Tinder photos that well. But I was like, oh my God, I think I know you. And then it immediately hit me like, you really came to my work. Which, it's like a whole joke in our family about how...
I don't know if my family calls it a joke. My family will not let up about it.
Yeah, his family, it's a little bit of backstory about Joe. He is very, very, very family oriented, and he has 3 like biological sisters and then 2 stepsisters. So 5 sisters as a whole. And
are we gonna discount my very opinionated mother?
And a very opinionated mother. So
love you so much, and I really do. But we're gonna call it what it is.
No, she's amazing.
She's the best.
He has 6 very influential women in his life.
There it is. That's a great way to put it.
Every time we remind his family about how we met in person for the first time, they all go on and on to say, wow, what a creep for showing up at her work completely unannounced. Even though we had a date set, we were supposed to meet for the first time on Thursday, and you came to my work on Tuesday, which, looking back, I will say I love that it kind of didn't give me the opportunity to stress about meeting you for the first time. Like, it was cool that I didn't have those first date jitters, but I did still have those. Let me just say that when we did have our first date on that Thursday, I did have those jitters. I was very much, it's hard to say if I was as anxious as I would have been if we hadn't met already, but I was still very, very nervous. So I don't want you thinking, oh, I saved you from being nervous. No, you didn't. I was still very nervous. But I do think it took away a lot of the, initial fear that you have when you have a facial difference and you're meeting someone for the first time. Because do you know how often people are okay with it in photos, but then not okay with it in person?
I can't say that I do know, but I would imagine that it happens quite a bit based on a lot of the stories that you've told me.
I mean, yeah, you were my last boyfriend, so the boyfriends that I had before, I think,
I know those assholes.
yeah,
I'm aware of them.
it's just
I'm
so,
aware that those idiots exist.
it's crazy how people are so okay with it until they're not. And so it was nice that even when he did surprise me, like at my job, and we had walked around the store for half an hour, I really felt like, okay, so is our date still on for Thursday? And he was like, yeah. So that's when I was like, okay. And to be 6 hours into a retail Christmas shift, I looked a mess. I looked crazy. But it worked out.
It did. And I didn't look much better. I'm pretty sure I was wearing my chef's coat and everything was dirty. Probably smelled like hash browns.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that you came from work while I was also at work.
I actually came from my house. I came from my home at that point.
You stayed in your work clothes?
I wasn't home for very long. I did an errand after work while we were texting. And then I was driving home, and I had gotten home, and I did like a couple of little just nitpicky things, and then I was like, you know what? Hell with it. I don't have anything on my immediate radar, so what am I going to do? I can go do this, because this seems like a good idea.
How did you think it was going to go? I know this was like 7.5 years ago, but...
The idea was exactly like you said, was to take away at least some of the jitters, to remove the awkward just meeting you phase. More of like shock and awe is a bad way to put it, but it's more organic. You know, it's like candid camera, and it was. That's what it was. It was mutual
because it's not. It was mutual.
It was mutual because that was why I did it the way I did it, because I wasn't looking a whole thing anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad that you didn't show up in like a sports coat with a rose, because then I would have been like, that's not fair. So you get a point there, but it wasn't mutual because you had more buildup. You had more anxiety surrounding it, where I
you better
had the
fucking
luxury.
believe it.
Yeah, I had the luxury of not being nervous because I had no idea that you were gonna surprise me. But
the massive amounts of anxiety, and the trip at that point was I don't know, I would say 35, 40 minutes worth of a trip. So plenty of anxiety the entire trip, all the way there.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we were long distance, but we did live in different states and about 40 minutes from each other.
Well, yeah.
That sounds dramatic, but that is.
It sounds dramatic, but the reality is we were constantly like right on top of each other.
Yeah, we're from the same area. He graduated high school a year before I did. So we took our prom photos at the same location. We went to the same mall growing up. We went to the same restaurants growing up.
Movie theaters, walk-arounds, just general stomping grounds.
We also went to the same college a year apart. So we've always been on top of each other. And now we are always on top of each other. Yeah, that is... Did you have anything else to add?
Well, that was like you said, that was what it was meant to be. It was meant to take away the jitters, and it was meant to show, like, gallantry. Like, it sounds really cheesy, but listen, you married who you married. I've always been a cheesy motherfucker. I am who I am, and I've always thought that, you know, like, the cheesy romance is the right way. There's just a right way to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the gallantry and the
I'm just glad you didn't have flowers that day.
No, first time that's really kind of like old heady. That's really like, I'm a divorced dad and I'm on the dating scene again. This is our first date. That's when you bring flowers. Yeah. And even then it's pushing it. I don't think that a first date is a flower situation. I think you need to get to know your person to know what flowers they want. Because what if I got you a flower that you were madly allergic to? Or something like that for our first
maybe, but
thing. You know, there's a million things that I have my own personal opinions about, and I'm probably call it a hot take if you want to, but I don't think that flowers for a first date is fully appropriate.
No, that's so fair, and I say that because he had brought me flowers to my work multiple times after our first meeting, but I do think not bringing flowers was the way to go. Absolutely.
Yeah, more mutual, you know?
Mm-hmm. No.
Even though you don't want to give me that.
How is it mutual if you knew it was coming?
It was more mutual. I didn't say that it was mutual. It was more mutual. Because, yeah, I had 35 whole ass minutes of, is this going to land? Is this going to be too much? Am I going to scare her off? Is this the right move? Should I turn around?
I wish I could remember what I said to my mom, like, going home that night, because I did live at home at the time. And I would love to know what I said to her, like, oh my God, this guy came to my work and blah, blah, blah. Which, do you have anything else to add?
Not about that particular anecdote. Oh, she mentioned that my family never misses an opportunity to give us crap about that. My sister, the youngest of the bunch, who we've always been incredibly close, she was my best ma'am in our wedding. And she gave a speech in which she referenced the first meet. So it wasn't all that long ago, and there is video evidence of that ribbing that, well, at least I watch relatively frequently.
You do watch our wedding video pretty frequently.
I'm okay with it. I'll do it
I
again.
think it's cute.
Well, I mean, what are we going to get a video for if we're not going to watch it?
Yeah, to pay that much money for a videographer,
I'm saying.
to not watch the video all the time.
And Mike was a magician. He did amazing.
Amazing. But yeah, that is how my husband and I first met. Like I said, I think it would have been really cool to be younger and watching a video of how someone with a facial difference met their husband, met their partner, and I think that would have, inspired me to want to open up and share earlier in life, maybe? I don't know.
Well, I mean, you had so much evidence showing you that people think and do and feel one way. What have you been shown to feel that it would be comfortable feeling another way? I get it. I understand why and what you felt. I can't empathize, but I can sympathize. I thought you thought that I was like really, really dumb. We were talking, and out of nowhere you were like, just so you know, I do have a facial difference. I'm like, yeah, okay.
No, I think it just would have been really hopeful as a young girl to see someone like me, but older than me, thriving, to have that hope. Whereas I kind of just had to assume that I was going to be okay and hope that I was going to be okay and not really have any example to go off of. Not saying that I'm the example for all young girls with a facial difference, but what I'm saying is, y'all,
let me get that for you. Look a little crooked.
My crown, my halo, my crown.
Oh, it was a crown, yeah. I mean, you seemed very regal as you were doing that. Very thank you for being here today.
That is how I met my husband. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would love for you to subscribe and let me know if you want us to do any more videos. Maybe you'd like to hear stories from Joe about him telling his family that he was dating someone with a facial difference, or his POV of what it's like to have someone in their life with hearing aids or fused elbows, or just who looks different and gets stared at. Like, it would be really nice to hear from the partner of someone who has a facial difference, perhaps.
I would love to answer any questions that
POV.
you have or that they have. Really anything. So if anybody has any questions, drop them. I'll be happy to answer them.
Joe has the tea. Joe knows.
I have plenty of tea, and it is scalding. The firecracker makes the tea hot, so put two together, it's...
Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you so much, and thank you for being here.
Happy to be here.
Love you.
When you perch your lips like that, I know exactly what you're feeling and thinking.
Okay. That meme is like, okay.
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 Yes. Very much that.
I hope I don't have wine teeth. I kind of do, but I'll just disclose that information.